All right, welcome back to the Cognition School podcast. My name is Satoshi Takano. I'm the founder of ReactForge. We're based out of Vaughan here in Toronto. And essentially, what we're doing is we're trying to help all of our top athletes, including hockey, to help you think faster for the game. So today, we have a very, very special guest. And this special guest is even more special because he's like my own son. And I treat him like my own kid. And I love him to death. So today we have Stevie Leskovar. He's had quite the career in hockey, and I'm really excited to have him on. So Stevie, welcome to the podcast, bud.
Hey, thanks, Satoshi. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be awesome. So okay, so listen to this. I kind of put this little intro together. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. 6'3",
Yeah,
216-pound blue liner from Cambridge.
yeah,
And you just signed your entry-level contract with the Minnesota Wild, over 150 OHL games, and everything pretty much started, in your backyard. And love to kind of dive deeper into that. So obviously, growing up in Cambridge, a smaller town, outside of Toronto here. What was that like for you, like playing minor hockey there, and how did that influence you into who you are today?
no, exactly. Yeah, growing up in a smaller town, obviously, playing for Cambridge as a kid and just getting to play in Galt Arena. I don't know if you've ever been to Galt Arena, but I think it's one of the oldest rinks in the world, which is just a cool place to play in, obviously, as a kid. And yeah, honestly, just growing up over there, playing there, I just really enjoyed it. I found the love for the game out there and wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah, and obviously, like I've known you for a long, long time, but for the people that don't know, I would describe you as just one of those shutdown defensemen, that just obviously plays physical now, incredibly physical, but yet you play, the game as it's evolving, right? So like you see the ice really well. When did you kind of realize that you're potentially one of those shutdown defensemen?
Oh yeah, when I switched over to D, I think it was 2 years before minor midget. So I was always a forward playing. I don't know. You probably remember when I was a forward playing in those
I do.
Europe tournaments and stuff. And that's kind of when I was transitioning to defense and kind of found the love for playing D and kind of seeing the ice back there. Yeah, over the years, it's obviously in minor midget you can get away with kind of being more of a skill defenseman putting up some points and stuff like that. And obviously, like, when I got drafted to the OHL, I knew I'm probably gonna have to change the way I play. And I made the jump and changed the kind of the style I play. And obviously, got noticed doing it, so I'm glad I did. And it's been really fun.
Yeah, definitely. I remember now because I think it was probably when we went to Europe is when you were just transitioning there,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. And for the folks that don't know, like we went on a European tour 2 years in a row and we had a fantastic time. And back then, I think this was about 2017, so I think it's about 8 years ago now,
time
where
flies. It's crazy.
time flies like
Feels
crazy.
like yesterday we
And
were there.
right? I still remember everything. And yeah, because I was just talking to Maddie about the trip and how yeah, I was like looking after your skates and but
Yeah,
here's a kid that would call me Mr. Takano and I'm like, what is going on, right?
yeah,
And I think it's one of those things that you learn to respect people around you. But yeah, like it was an eye-opening experience for me as a parent to have, this. So 8 years ago, you would have been 12, 13,
yeah.
right?
Just a young guy.
So yeah, so I mean, you're by yourself. You're looking after yourself there on the trip, and I was very impressed by the way that you were brought up, and it's something that I think still carries on to this day that you respect your coaches like highly, you learn from them, you have a very open mind. Tell me a little bit about kind of your approach to that because some players think, "Oh, I'm just entitled to everything."
Yeah, honestly, I got to thank my parents. They've raised me really well. They always taught me respect's a big thing. You respect everyone. You treat everyone every way you want to be treated. And honestly, I would think just growing up, I don't know, helping my dad out, working at the shop, just kind of staying humble. To be honest, they've taught me a lot. And honestly, like just like the little things, I think just saying hi to guys around the rink, asking trainers if they need anything, bringing them coffees in the morning, stuff like that. Like some people don't realize how much stuff they do for you behind the scenes, like trainers, coaches, all these guys. When you're sleeping at the hotel, they're unpacking your bag, stuff like that. So I think it goes a long way just bringing them a coffee in the morning or whatever it is, just helping them out. And I think I live by that, and I think it's honestly for all like the younger kids out there, I guess teams are looking for good kids too. So that's a big thing I like to think about.
I always see the Steelheads Instagram account where you guys are coming in to practice or game days, and you're always carrying coffee.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
there's without question, it's like, oh, there's Stevie again with the coffees, and it's usually like, three or four, right?
yeah, that's my thing. Every game, every practice, every day I show up to the rink, there's a coffee there for our equipment manager and our trainer. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they
No,
do a lot for us. So it's just a little thing to kind of give back to them, I guess.
yeah, no, for sure, man, for sure. Um, and as far as like your OHL draft, do you remember much about that? What that felt like for you?
Yeah, yeah, it was obviously like growing up as a kid in Ontario, it's like I used to go to the Kitchener Rangers games and the Guelph Storm games with my dad. My dad had seasons in Guelph, so we'd go there all the time. So just growing up, honestly, going to those games and being like, wow, like maybe I can play here one day, like, and then just getting the opportunity to be drafted by Peterborough was just amazing. Even just getting drafted into the OH, it's a big accomplishment for a lot of kids, and honestly, it was a dream come true, and it's where it all kind of started. It kind of sinks in, but the draft it really means nothing. It's a camp invite, and you got to prove yourself at camp. That's what I like to tell younger kids at camp. My last couple of years, and it's just like you got to get there and you got to put in the work. So it doesn't matter where you get drafted or when. It's just you can make an impression at camp and work hard, and good things happen.
Yeah, and of course, after the draft, even you played even junior C, if I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken.
yeah. 3 or 4 years ago, yeah, I got a chance to play junior C up in. I was playing in the OJ, and then I played some junior C games up in Lakefield, and honestly, it was a good experience. You're playing with, at the time, I would have been probably 17. So you're playing with guys up to 21 years old that are working and they have families, some of them. And it's honestly, it was an eye opener for me. I obviously up there it was a little stronger than the junior C around here because they didn't have junior B. But no, I still talk to a bunch of the guys. It's just great guys, and it was a decent hockey, and it taught me to keep my head up and stuff like that. And it was a really cool experience.
Yeah, because I mean, people think that there's like a certain path, right? And obviously you've taken different kind of paths at different times, and I think that's really important for a lot of our kids going into the draft this year, or just got drafted to the OHL, and they're like, what, I can't play in the OHL yet, like I got to play junior A or junior B, or in your case junior C, and they care so much about the letter, right, of where they're playing. But tell me about that, because how did you kind of keep going, because I think that's really important for a lot of our guys to listen to.
Yeah, I still remember to this day going to watch a junior C game and calling my dad on the way home, like I can't, like I don't know if I can play here. And like there was like 3, 4 fights in the game. I was just a little kid up in Peterborough, and I remember calling my dad and on the way home a little upset. But it's like you wanna, he's like, I don't know, you just put your head down. He's like, if you want it, go get it. So that's what I did. And no, it was a really great experience. It honestly, it doesn't really matter where your path takes you, but as long as you get to the end goal, it's mine's probably been one of the more rockier paths. It's been working, so just continue to work hard.
Well, I think and I think that's important because I would say 95% of player careers are very rocky, right? If you're like, a first rounder, and you have that type of profile, then that's one thing. But I think for the rest of the player community, yeah, like you're gonna have to play different places, and also not get turned off by that, right? And you just have to continue to progress and keep going. And I think that's exactly what you did. It's almost like in a good way, you put blinders on and you just kept going, regardless of what level you were at. And so I have a very high respect for you, for someone like yourself to have done that. So that's fantastic.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about, I mean, obviously you've now finished your OHL career. What were some of the differences between, say, year four versus, kind of that first year you were in the OHL?
Yeah, I would say like honestly, it's just confidence to be honest. Like obviously your first year, you get in a couple of games, and I think it takes you obviously a couple of games, and you got to realize like if you're good enough to play in the league, you can play in the league, and you gotta take it and run with it. You get an opportunity, someone gets hurt, or you get in the lineup, you gotta make the best out of the situation. And no, compared to my fourth year and my fifth year, it's just like obviously you get more mature, wiser. You're making these plays that you wouldn't see your 16, your 17-year-old self doing. So it's just cool to kind of go back and look. And sometimes I watch little old clips of me playing, and back in the day, it's like, oh, I've come a long way. So no, it's cool to see you evolve.
Do you look at those videos and go, what was I doing there?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I remember with Coach Matty, I've seen we've looked at some old clips, and it's just we sit there and we get some good laughs. So no, we've had some some video sessions, and he's like, "Oh, let me just go back to your first game here or whatever in Mississauga," and we no, we sit there, we kind of shake our heads, but no, it's all funny.
What's an example of like some of those videos? Like what were you doing then that you kind of look back and go, what was I doing?
Oh, like I would say like. I'd probably say like stepping up on guys, and Matty comes back and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I wanted to hit him." He's like, "You can't go there." So obviously now I'm a little more tame, and when it's there, I'll take it. But I used to be just run and gun. I'm like, "Oh, I want this guy," but all my coaches have taught me kind of over the years now just to it'll come to you, and that's probably my biggest thing is I'd say that the timing and figuring that all out.
Yeah, no, that's a good point too, because there's a lot of people that think, oh, you're just a heavy hitter guy and not really a hockey player, right?
Yeah,
Like you just want to go out and kill people. But I would assure everybody that's watching this, like if they watch your game, you made some really great plays. In not only at Brampton, but even in the couple of the Wild games. Oh, sorry, the Wild games as well,
yeah,
playing in Iowa, and I was super impressed by like what you were doing there too. So we'll definitely get into that, but
yeah,
I think there's no question that you can absolutely learn to play the game, but also yeah, you know how to make an impact when the timing is right. So I think that's really really
exactly.
key. Yeah. When you moved from Peterborough to Mississauga or Brampton at that time, what were kind of like your approach to joining the team? Like, was there something that you had in mind where you're like, you know what, it's a fresh start. Here's what I want to do at this team. Was there anything in particular?
Yeah, I just honestly like coming in, obviously being traded. It's obviously a big thing being you're traded your first time, and it's obviously a little nerve-wracking probably as I look back as a younger kid. And no, honestly, I just wanted it's a fresh opportunity, fresh start. You just want to go in there and kind of as an older team, just kind of you want to get in there, you want to make an impact. You want to help the team out whatever way you can. And I thought I did a good job of that, and it honestly it was a blessing. It was very great organization. I loved playing there, and Peter Rose amazing too. So no, it's just it was a better opportunity, and no, it was great.
Yeah, and this is just coming from an outsider's perspective, but I think you're a lot more, like you had more poise, if I can call it that. Like you're more calm about joining the team than wondering, okay, am I going to really fit in, or kind of doubting yourself. So definitely the important thing about the what you mentioned about confidence, I think, was very visible for me. That when I saw you playing in Mississauga at the time, that you just kind of knew how you fit, and I don't think you're questioning that at all.
No, yeah, no, it was really cool. closer to home and stuff. It was really nice. It was a good move.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. So obviously, like, being in the OHL, having that physical element and then having the skill side, how did you feel like you've improved from, kind of transitioning from a physical game to now more of like speed and skills game? How did you adjust to some of those guys that obviously you're playing against guys that are also hard to stop too, right?
Yeah.
So how did you kind of adjust to that?
Yeah, I would say like as my role got bigger in the league and on the team, I'd say you're playing against guys top second line, and some of these guys, people think like, why don't you just hit them there? It's tougher than it looks. Some of these guys are real shifty, real fast, so you gotta defend in different ways. Sometimes you gotta use your stick, you gotta rub them out, you gotta do what you can do to stop them sometimes, and sometimes I would like to hit them, but you can't throw yourself out of the play, but you got to use your stick and stuff. So I think over the years I've kind of changed kind of the way I defend, and I think it's worked out. And I really enjoy going against top line stuff like that, top players. It's a challenge every night, so that's great.
Would you say, is there anyone in particular that kind of was one of those guys that were hard to stop?
I'd probably say like Nick Lardis on real
Oh,
shifty,
artists.
yeah, can fly, good player.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. I would agree. He's very shifty.
Ever
Very
since I
shifty.
played with him in the Peterborough days, he's always been able to fly. So.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Awesome. So let's talk about the NHL draft day. First of all, did you even know that you got drafted?
No, my Stefan Thorne, our forward coach, actually texted me before it happened because out here in the country, our Wi-Fi is not really the best, so we were a little bit behind. But no, that was probably one of the cooler moments of my life for sure.
Where were you when you found out?
I see a text from Stefan Thorne, our forward coach. He's like, "Hey, congrats, well deserved. I'm so proud of you." And like I thought, like, oh, like maybe he sent it to the wrong guy. And then it popped up on the TV, and my sister's like, "Hey, you just got drafted." And I was like, oh my. So it kind of popped up, and my family started freaking out. Dogs started barking. So it was a pretty cool
I
moment.
started barking too.
Oh yeah, he's like, what's going on? So yeah, no, it was really cool.
That's a wild experience and no pun intended there. Like I mean I was in Vegas and I was there at the draft. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay for the second day and I remember being at the airport and I'm literally about to board my plane. I'm at the gate. I'm walking in and I get a call from Rio and he's like, "That Stevie just got drafted." And I'm like, "Stevie? What? What?" Like, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, hang on a sec. And I'm like literally like boarding the plane, like looking through, and I'm like, holy crap. So I was just as thrilled as you were and I didn't know what was going on because I'm not watching it at that time. But yeah, like I mean, what was that feeling for you? Like when you actually found out that this was real?
Oh, it was crazy when once I saw that name pop up on the TV and my phone started blowing up, and I was like, wow, like this is real. Like it was kind of relief, like just all that kind of hard work you can see paying off, and it was a great experience, especially to be there with my family and stuff. It was just we went out for a nice dinner after and stuff. It was pretty fun.
Now, the unique thing about that situation is that I think you were a +2, right?
Yeah,
So this is really important for a lot of people to understand that the NHL can draft anyone at any age. I don't think there is a limit. So even if you've missed your draft going into your, draft year, um, or any subsequent years, you can get picked up at any time. So I think that's a really, really key piece of information that they think, oh, if I didn't get drafted that year, my career is over. And I think there's a lot of people that, like even in the 04 age group, that probably kind of thought the same. And if they missed it, they're like, oh, that's done, right? And they kind of give up.
yeah, exactly. Obviously, it's more rare being an older guy to get drafted, and honestly, for the younger guys, like you don't get drafted your first year. It's like I barely played my first year. It's like it's the way it goes, and if you want it, you just keep on working hard. You get noticed, and good things will happen.
Yeah, yeah. And so you got drafted, you went to camp after that. What was that experience like for you?
Just amazing. Just going there and just seeing all the little things like the food, like we get fed.
The food.
Oh, I told my mom, she's like, "Oh, how's the cooking? Like, are they feeding you?" Oh, I'm like, "Oh, mom, she's better than mine." I'm like, "I think so." So she was a little upset about that, but no, it's just everything's like state of the art. The gym, the rink, it's just the way we get treated there. It's just such a pro mentality over there. It's just amazing.
And you played a couple games, of course.
Yeah,
And I know that, you're definitely, trying to, you know, push a couple guys there. What was that like for you as well? Like because obviously you're playing, a couple guys that have probably it's not their first time going to camp there.
yeah, yeah. We did that rookie tournament in St. Louis, so it was a great experience. Just playing with bigger, faster guys, and I thought I had a really good camp there, and I got invited back to main camp, which was another amazing experience. And no, it was just overall, it was just really fun and great city to be in, and it was amazing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city there too. I've been there a couple times, but and then so you came back and you came back to Brampton, and was there something that you took away from that development camp and obviously the main camp that you then kind of motivated you to perform in Brampton?
Yeah, obviously, coming back, it's just you're kind of as you're there, you're being a sponge. You're just soaking in everything. Just all these, you kind of take each kind of thing you take from everyone, and you see guys what kind of they do before practices. You kind of take a piece from everyone, and you kind of build that into your game or in the gym or when you're warming up, stuff like that. So I think that was my biggest thing, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. And so I think it's always I always find that guys that come back from camp and they go back to the OHL, they almost find like a next gear, right? Like because they realize like at that next level, there's something, much more than what you're just experiencing at the OHL level. So I think it just makes your playing even better, right?
You know exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. And then you go through the whole season and you had your signing with the Wild. What was that like for you?
Ah, it was honestly, it's a dream come true. Even just getting drafted, that's like the first step in the process, like just first building block. That was my next goal. I'm like, I want to sign. That's my goal. Yeah, I was sitting at work. I was working with my dad actually. It was a pretty cool moment. I was working with him and I got a call from my agent and he's like, "Oh, I'm working on a contract with the Minnesota Wild right now." And I'm like, and I kind of just froze for a minute. My dad's employees were like, "What's going on? Like this guy?" No, I just went up and gave my dad a hug, and obviously he started crying, and my aunt started crying. I'm pretty sure the shop was like closed after that for the day. Like we were just kind of,
Yeah,
it
I
was
don't.
more of a celebration. No, it was just a cool experience.
Yeah, I remember your dad calling me saying, "Yeah, Stevie has officially resigned from
Yeah,
transmission."
yeah, I know it. Somehow I still find myself back there working, but when he needs a hand, I'm still there. So, but
Yeah, of course,
yeah, I
of
told him
course.
when I signed, I'm like, "Oh, this is my last shift ever here," and he started laughing, so he liked that one.
Yeah, yeah. And then so you finished your season with Brampton. Obviously, was that was the first round, right? Playoffs,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Yeah. And then right after that, you're on a plane.
yeah. A couple days, and then
Yeah, yeah.
flew out to
So
Winnipeg.
you had a taste of pro. What was that like?
Oh, it was just really cool. Honestly, flying in, I got to fly into Winnipeg and meet the team there, and we stayed there for a couple days, and just I got to warm up down in Winnipeg, so kind of just going through the game routine and stuff like that, and just being around the guys, which all the guys were amazing, and no, it was really cool. It was a great experience.
Yeah, yeah. And it looks like the team did a nice little montage of you
Yeah,
getting ready for the game. So that was
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. That was really cool. Like, great crowd that night. Went to over. I know went to a shootout, and it was just a great game.
Yeah, yeah. And does it feel like, like from a mental state point of view, do you feel like, what, this is like a new start, so then yeah, you're not going to get playing time, or you're not going to get as much ice, but you're just absorbing, and then that if you as long as you keep working at it, you'll eventually kind of make it to that level, right?
Yeah, yeah, you're starting, like you said, you're starting all over again. It's the same thing all over again. So you take all the advice and you work hard and you do everything and you get the opportunity, you run with it.
Yeah, yeah. Now, was there somebody on the team kind of that really kind of helped you to kind of feel comfortable around?
Yeah, obviously, like some of the guys I went to camp with, so I knew a couple of them there. I'd say like Ben Jones, he's a guy from Kitchener here, so he was just a great guy, and he kind of took me under his wing, which was really cool.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. And obviously, sorry, I'm just kind of reflecting back on your experience with Brampton as well. But you had Connor Smith and Finn Harding as well, who, there's three defensemen right there that happened to sign. So obviously, Brampton was doing something right for you and for the other guys as well. So anything that you kind of learned from that experience at Brampton?
No, ever since my first day there, you're always learning something. It's if you look at their track record, how many guys we got drafted, how many three guys, four guys signed this year, and it's just they know what they're doing there. It shows for itself having that many guys signed, drafted, and we'll see how many guys will get drafted in the up and coming draft. So, and no, it's just I can't say enough about how great it was. Being so close to home is amazing too. To get the family out to watch and stuff, and it's just
Yeah.
Maddie, JR, and Thorny. They're just amazing. Everyone, the whole staff is just great.
Yeah, they're great human beings. I really respect those guys because obviously, like you said, they're doing something right, and they've got the track record and the pedigree, and the fact that all three defensemen that signed are all on your same team. So obviously, they're doing something great there.
Yeah, they really got just the way they run everything and just the morning ice and stuff. We do morning ice and before every I don't think we do it before game days, but every day I was out there with Maddie and he's just every day he's got something new we're learning. If it's rim pickups, walking the line, just honestly from where I started, it's just crazy to see like when I started and to see now. It's just being out there and I don't know. I look forward to just going to the rink every day and just hey, I'm gonna get a little bit better today, and it was a great experience.
Yeah, as they say, right? It's not where you start, it's where you finish. Yeah, that's great. Well, so let's talk about a little bit in terms of like your training and your physical preparation. Kind of walk us through like a day, like from an in-season perspective, like what kind of training do you do? How do you go throughout your day?
Yeah, in season this year, so we would have morning ice. You got to be there for 9:15. So I would wake up in the morning, have some breakfast, obviously stop at Tim's, grab the coffees for the boys, grab myself a tea. Yeah, drive to the rink, get there for probably 9. Do a little stretch, foam roll. We'd be on at 10:15 to like 11:15. Just doing skills, just optional skills if you want to come out and which I find amazing. And I don't think I missed one all year. I loved it. Then we'll go for we'll go do a workout, and then there'll be two workout groups. One will be working out after, and one will be working out before. So we'll work out right after we skate. Go grab some Chipotle or something for lunch. Come back, relax for a little, get the sticks taped and stuff, and then we'll go out. Goalies will go for goalie shooting. Then we'll practice, and then day's over.
Yeah, and as far as recovery goes, anything in particular that you kind of lean on or that you like to do?
Yeah, honestly, normally after our full team practice, a little cool down, a little stretch in the gym, and we had the Normatec boots, stuff like that. Get some treatment done by Benna and ice tub, stuff like that, just to keep the body. It's a long season, so you got to keep the body. That's what uh, that's what fuels you. So
How long can you stay in the cold tub?
Honestly, I got at the end of the year, I was going pretty good. I think I was getting there 7, 8 minutes. So it was
What?
yeah, I was getting cold. So no, but
Oh my
I was
God.
building yeah, I was building stamina up for sure.
I don't know how you do that, man.
Yeah, yeah,
I've tried it. It's a minute max for me.
yeah. It gets real cold.
Yeah, yeah. Anything in terms of nutrition, like anything that you like to do, like to eat from a nutrition point of view?
Yeah, honestly, if all the boys know me, I love my steak. So they always razz me all my birthdays, my Christmas. I always ask for keg gift cards. So I'm always trying to drag someone to the keg with me. So I don't know. I'm big on steaks and stuff like that, but I also like chicken stuff like that. Just I don't know. I like healthy foods. But, obviously, I go for the burger once in a while, but no, even like protein shakes, good snacks with the ring apples, stuff like that. I think you feel like before a game day, I'll go to the keg. I'm like, my body needs it. I'm like, I got a game tomorrow. I got to fuel myself, right? So that was my excuse to go to the keg all the time.
You go to the keg on game days
Right? No, like day before.
or a
Yeah,
day before?
yeah,
Okay,
day
okay.
before. So after practice, I'll go. Yeah, no, it's just
Maybe we'll work on a deal
I
for
know a sponsor would
sponsorship
be
or
nice.
something.
That'd be real good. I wouldn't mind that.
No, that's great. What kind of steaks do you like?
I normally go for the New York strip there, but they had this T-bone on
Yeah.
special a while ago, and it was pretty good. Can't complain.
And no, New York's are good too.
Yeah,
I just had one a couple days ago.
yeah. I
So
grilled one up yesterday actually for lunch.
for lunch.
It was real good, really good. Yeah, we got one of those
Awesome, man.
Blackstones, so I tend to put
Yeah,
everything on the
yeah.
Blackstone now. So
Sick. That's sick.
yeah,
That's incredible. Awesome, awesome. Well, you know what? Let's not kid ourselves too. Like Stevie and I always have our celebratory post workout, really, really nutritious Dairy Queen blizzards in the summertime. Remember those?
I do remember those days. Yeah, those are pretty good.
I think it was like an
They got
Uber
peanut butter in
Eats.
them though. They're healthy. Got the Reese's cups in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were fun summers. So let's talk a little bit about, when we started working together and how it's benefited you over the years as well. I know obviously you're one of my original guys that started in my garage and a long time ago. You know, tell me what kind of went through your mind a little bit there at the beginning and then how we kind of evolved it over or how you evolved over time.
Yeah, obviously, like starting, I don't know how I'm not sure how my dad found you to be honest, but he's like, hey, he's like, I'm like, well, what are we doing today? He's like, oh, you're gonna go down and we're gonna try some of this. He calls it the light stuff. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, oh, where are we going? We're like, oh, we're going to Satoshi's house. I'm like, okay. So like, it was a little like, at first I was a young kid, I was pretty skeptical. I'm like, oh, what are all these lights? And obviously I was probably pretty nervous at the start, but and then I started kind of getting into a rhythm and I was coming down probably every weekend. And honestly, I started loving it. And it was, honestly, it took off from there. And obviously, I've been with you for forever now. And it all started in the garage, and it just we've had so much fun there. And other than almost getting struck by lightning, but
Yes.
yeah, it almost did happen.
Yes.
But no, it's just amazing. I think just from it transferring onto the ice, and you see like even like the one day I said to you, I'm like a water bottle was falling, and I was shocked at myself. I caught it, and I was like, oh, I think that's Satoshi. Like that's what I've been doing. I'm like that reaction time was pretty good. So like you kind of just not even like hockey, you kind of see in like little everyday things. Like wow, that was pretty impressive. So like stuff like that, I think it's just cool to see.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of has those Satoshi moments, and we kind of jokingly say that, but it happens where yeah, you could be doing some everyday life thing, and all of a sudden you saw something out of the corner of your eye and you detected it. Normally, under normal conditions, you probably wouldn't even recognize it, right? But then you translate that back to the game, and now you're starting to see everything as some of the drills that we would do and be able to translate some of that as well. And yeah, no, I think what you're saying is bang on. The more that you kind of come to an actualization of, oh, hey, I've seen this scenario before somewhere, right? And then so you kind of know what to do. You know that your body can move. So yeah, I think all the things you're talking about is 100% relevant. And of course, like in your game, obviously the puck is moving very, very fast. So tell us a little bit about how, if like what we've been doing here would translate to your game situation.
Yeah, honestly, I'd say like retrievals of pucks, stuff like that. Guys are, especially at the next level, guys are on you quick, and you got to see that decision, you got to make it. So I think just everything you guys are doing there, it's just it speeds up the mind. You know how to make that quick decision real quick, and I think that's probably the biggest thing I've taken away, just making quick reactions, quick thinking, just when to make little plays faster. It's just, I think it's helped me a lot.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And of course, because you've got size and it takes that, maybe quarter of a second longer to move just because you've got 216 pounds to move. And so any edge essentially would help you, like even if it's like a quarter of a second quicker to maybe kind of read and go, okay, that guy's open and this guy's not. Or maybe the puck's coming up to the point and you either take a shot or do you not take a shot, right? Is there a guy in your shooting lane? And so being able to detect all of that, I think, is something that I saw in your game too. Like you're able to recognize when you should shoot and when you shouldn't. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Um, let's talk about a little bit about like how you reset after a bad play. And I mean, not all players are perfect, but what's kind of like your plan or strategy when you have like those bad shifts every now and then? What do you kind of think
Yeah,
about
I kind of just,
to reset?
I would say, yeah, just get back to the bench, forget about it. It's a new shift, next shift. Stuff happens. Like no one's perfect, so everyone realizes that, and you just got to go out there and just stick to the basics. I like when stuff's not going my way. I like to you go back to the basics. You make the simple plays. Don't make it harder on yourself. And I think that's one of the biggest things. But you got to forget about it. You got to wipe it from the mind, and you just got to go out there and just you got to play.
Yeah, it's interesting too because I was talking to Maddie about something similar. And the one thing that he mentioned to me as an assistant coach, he has to know all his players, right? How they collect information, how they react to certain situations. Sometimes you have to leave them alone, sometimes you have to kind of, engage with them. Would you say you're kind of like one of those that likes to kind of be more like alone and kind of thinking about it, or do you kind of like that word of encouragement?
Like honestly, depends. But like I'll always take the encouragement. I'm always gonna take. I'll take the criticism. I'll take the encouragement. That's part of the game. So no, I don't mind. Matty would always give me a tap and say, "You get out there, you're good." So stuff like that. It's just, yeah, you just got to take it either way.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's what I love about you, Stevie, is like you have that open mind where you like the feedback. Uh and you're always like you're not just saying, okay, just shut up and leave me alone. It's like you kind of take it in and accept where people are coming from too, right? Knowing that they're trying to help you. So I think that's a really key thing. Any type of visualization that you would do from a mental point of view pre-game before you get into your gear or even get on the ice?
Yeah, before the game, I sit on the bench and kind of just look around the surface, I drink my tea on the bench and I kind of just look around, kind of take it all in. That's probably like that's one of the things I've been doing. So that's kind of one of my routines after. And then I go for a little skip and then I get my stuff on and then I get out there.
Yep, yep. Do you have any other kind of routine things that you have to do pre-game?
Um, hmm.
Do you tape your stick a certain way, or you?
I honestly like I do the same thing every time I get to the rink. I kind of walk in, I'll get changed into my gitch, and then I'll just tape my stick. I'll wax it. I'll put my stick out, and then I'll go for a bike ride, and then I'll. It's kind of the same thing every. Put my gear on, and say a little prayer, and get out there and get to work. That's about it. That's all I do.
Very simple, very
Yeah,
simple.
yeah, simple, just same thing every time though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you do any kind of like, so you don't do kind of any meditations type of stuff like, before or anything like that,
No,
breathing
I don't.
exercises?
No.
Okay, okay. Yep. Well, everybody's got their own kind of
Yeah.
ways, right? Yep, yep. Were there real kind of like low moments for you? I know we're talking a lot about like, how things have kind of progressed. Is there any kind of low moments for you that you kind of have to overcome?
Yeah, honestly, Probably I'd say like getting over like realizing, oh, I'm playing junior C. Like I was a fifth round draft pick in the OHL. It's like in your head, like as a young guy, like why am I playing junior C? Like stuff like that. But it's like you got to get over that, and you want to keep on playing, and you want to excel. You gotta sometimes that's the way it goes. That's how I like to think about things. Stuff, everything happens for a reason, as my parents tell me, and it's that's how I looked at it every day. So you gotta
Yeah.
take everything. There's always good in something. You gotta take a little bit out of everything.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really how you respond to what's happening around you. And I just got off another podcast earlier, and he was just talking about you can only control what you can control. And the more you think about other things you can't control, that's when all the anxiety kicks in, and you feel like, okay, you're doubting yourself, or you're not able to perform. So I totally agree with you. So let's switch gears a little bit. So comparing levels from the speed of play. So minor midget to OHL, or OHL to AHL/NHL. How do you compare the different pace of play, making those transitions along the way?
Yeah, I would say obviously going in from minor midget to the OHL, like guys are faster, guys are stronger. So it's obviously a pretty big jump. And then you go from like the OHL to the AHL, it's guys are moving and guys are in the right spot, stuff like that. It's just no, it's quite the jump, but no, it's cool to be playing with guys that obviously they know where they got to be all the time. It's obviously it's easier sometimes as a D to make a quick pass. You know, there's a guy there, but yeah, a lot of big, strong guys, fast guys in that league. So that's really cool.
Do you find that sometimes, and I don't want to say this in a negative way, but do you find that it's a little bit easier to make plays at the NHL level because you know that guys are going to be in certain spots?
Yeah, it honestly sounds weird to say that,
Yeah, it
but yeah,
sounds weird.
I
Yeah.
do agree I do agree with you. Yeah, yeah, it's you kind of come around the net as a defenseman. There's a automatically a guy standing there. There's a guy open. You have two options, like stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah, no, I certainly kind of find that the play that you want to make is more makeable at that NHL level because that's what you've been training for, that's what you've been watching for the most part. But at the junior level, even though they're good guys too, it's just different, right? Sometimes they're not necessarily there, or maybe they're not ready for receiving your first pass yet. They're just kind of getting into their spot. Whereas probably at the NHL level, those guys they know that they have to be there, right?
oh yeah, yeah, it's yeah, and boy, can some of those guys fly. So they're ready and they're getting the puck and they're gone.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk about your short-term goals here. Like, what's next for you, man?
Yeah, honestly, obviously signing and my goals stay up in the AHL and have a good season up there and just kind of take in everything and I don't know, just have a good year and just see where it comes from there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So where does Iowa play?
They play at the Wells Fargo Center in Des Moines.
Okay,
Yeah,
Des Moines. Okay,
yeah.
okay, got it. Yeah, I mean, if and maybe one, I would say if you could give someone a piece of advice for someone going into the OHL kind of first year, or they just got drafted, because obviously it's May, so these guys are just getting drafted. They probably finished their camp, their development camp. What's a piece of advice that you could give to a 15 or a 16-year-old kind of cracking into that OHL lineup, or
Honestly, I would
trying to
say,
crack in that
yeah,
OHL lineup?
I would say taking it all in, honestly. I would say time flies. I remember when I was a young 16, 17-year-old guy going to camp, and it feels like yesterday, but it was 4 or 5 years ago now. So I'd say taking it all in, just having fun, and just going out there and proving yourself, and just make yourself noticeable out there. Do something that someone else isn't going to do. Whatever it is, finish your check, score, like do what you're good at. And just try to get noticed out there. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, what you're talking about is finding your identity, right? Who are you as a player? Because you can't be everything, right? Like, you can't be a Connor McDavid type of a player, so you got to find your own lane and stick to that lane. I think too many players maybe are trying to be all things to all people because they're trying to please too many people. Would you agree
Yeah,
with that?
yeah, I would 100% agree. You see some of these young guys coming in trying to do everything. It's like obviously they'll find most guys in their first year think, oh, I can do this, I can do that. Over the years, they think, oh, maybe I'm just good at this thing. I'll stick to this. So everyone learns at a different time and realizes. Yeah, no, I'd say that's probably one of the biggest things.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm gonna go into the last section here, which is a rapid fire. So I'm gonna ask you a couple questions here. So let's see. First question, your most memorable hit that you've had in your career, and it could be anywhere.
I would say I
I know
had
you've
one
had a lot.
in, yeah, I would say last 2 years ago against Ottawa. I had a pretty big hit, and that kind of put me on the map. Like guys were like, "Oh, should probably watch out when this guy's on the ice." So no, I'd probably say that one. Also had some pretty
Yeah,
big ones
yeah,
at camp, but
awesome.
I'd say that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Favorite non-hockey sport or activity. Let's call it that way.
Okay, I'll do sport, and then I'll do like activity. I'll probably
Okay.
say I used to go-kart race, so I'd probably say that. I'd
Yeah,
say that
I
was
love that.
yeah, I'd say that was really fun. Pretty dangerous, but it was fun. And then I'd say like activity, I'd say I do like to fish, and I've been getting into the hunting a lot too, so I'd say one of those two.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like your four-wheeler.
That is a runner-up for sure. Yeah, I haven't did that in a while, but it was definitely yeah, it's definitely I spent a lot of weekends doing that for sure.
That I don't. Yeah, I mean, I hope people go to see. It's either on your account or your sister's account, but it was like there are some that I thought, oh my God, what is he doing in that swamp
Yeah, and some
and
yeah, random pond. Yeah, yeah, that'd be me.
in a random pond, and then all of a sudden the four-wheeler disappears
Yeah,
and it's only
yeah,
you
no.
like literally up to here.
Yeah, I still remember. Actually, I was out golfing with that buddy the other day, and we were like, "Remember that time when we sunk that bike in that pond?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, those are the good old days, eh?" So, no, that's what. There's not much to do around Cambridge, so my buddy and I, we there's lots of trails, so that's what.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Makes sense. Your favorite go-to pump-up song pregame? Do you
Oh,
have one?
honestly, I'm not too picky on that. Like, we have some. I don't know who normally does our rocks, but it's normally pretty good, and like. I don't know, like I'm a really big country fan, but like obviously you don't like want to listen to country before the game, but I don't know. Some like The Rock comes on and I don't really know a lot of the songs, but I'm like, oh, this kind of fires me up. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I think like
yeah.
I'd probably
Awesome.
say No Sleep Till Brooklyn by the Beastie Boys. I'd probably say that one. So
Okay. Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
probably go with that.
That's Beastie. You know what, dude? Beastie Boys was our pump-up song when I used to play.
Yeah,
Like
it's
we
a
have a ghetto blaster, and some guy would be walking in with the
yeah on the
with
shoulder.
the big
Yeah.
cassette tape on the shoulder,
No, yeah.
and
I'd say that one to be honest.
yeah, yeah, and I know no one's listening to this podcast, so I would say the second song that was always on was "Girls" by Beastie Boys too.
Yeah, yeah.
But no one's gonna know about that song, so I'll just leave it there. Stick pattern on your curve. What are you using today?
I have a Max Blade on a P92, I think that's what it is. And
Okay,
with
yeah,
I think it's like tactile grip or nipple grip, I don't know what they call it now. And 90 flex. It's pretty a little bit taller than stock and yeah, that's what it is.
very cool. Very cool. Awesome, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on because this has been a fantastic conversation and I know a lot of our viewers are very much into kind of hearing from guys like yourself that went from a minor midget or a youth player to the OHL and now you're gonna work towards your NHL career. So first of all, congratulations for everything because and secondly, I think, for I thank you for coming on today. It's great.
No, no, I appreciate you having me and I've really look forward to coming down next week and seeing you in Rio and getting back to work.
Sounds good, bud. Sounds good. Awesome. So this concludes our episode for the Cognition School. So this is going to be on YouTube in the next couple days, and so I hope you guys all get a chance to watch it, share it, subscribe to the channel because we're always going to have some of our great friends on this podcast. So thanks again for listening today, and I hope to see you guys on the next episode of Cognition School. Thanks very much.